It's very important for us to keep creating, but to also remember that the world is in a very hard and tough place right now. We need to find a way, to think more about how we can help people and not about how can we just promote our music there, It took time until I realized after the army, okay, what do I want to do? There's nothing that I'm passionate about except music. I decided that this is my career and I'm going to go for it, full time.
VisionQuest Sound, come on.
Welcome back to the VisionQuest Sound podcast. I'm your host, Philip. The world may be struggling today, but it's a beautiful day outside, and we're having a great time in the studio. On this show, we love to have a conversation about artistry and vision with artists and creators who are making positive waves in our community. In this episode, get ready for a real treat. Our guest today, she's been featured a number of times on our VisionQuest Sound advice blog and all over YouTube. Please welcome the alternative artist, Vika.
Well, hi everyone. Thank you so much for having me.
Tell us a little bit about who you are, what you do, and your music.
You can say I'm a songwriter, a singer, a rapper. I write music about women empowerment, equal rights. That's what my music is talking about. I'm an activist, I would say.
Yes. Where can we go to follow you and learn more about what you do online?
Well, I'm mostly active on Instagram by Simply Vika, and the same on YouTube. I have Simply Vika on YouTube, where I have my music and I vlog there. And I have the Muzz Music channel, which is for musicians.
That's awesome. I wanted to congratulate you on being a wonderful creator and contributing author at VisionQuest Sound.
Thank you very much.
How many articles have you submitted already?
Oh, wow. I don't know, because I'm always keep adding, I kind of lost count there.
Wonderful. For our audience, I will put those links in the description on this podcast. You've got to check out the articles that Vika has submitted to our website. Being stuck as an artist, as a creator in this world's condition with this COVID-19 lockdown, what's going on in your world? What's changed? What have you learned?
The big thing that changed, the most bad thing is that because the world is kind of stopped, it's very hard to keep the motivation going because many of us, we can't perform. So, when you wake up in the morning and you know that you need to practice for something, it's way easier to, get up and practice. But when you're kind of stuck in a place that you don't know what's going to happen tomorrow, it's really hard to keep the motivation going and you can't go outside. So, I'm trying to create an environment in my own home with a lot of sunlight to keep the motivation going. But I think I'm succeeding until now.
Yeah, I know. It's definitely a tough time, especially for us artists and creators. I just did a podcast yesterday and we were talking about how this time could be the best time for artists and creators for us to create change, because that's what we're here to do, create art and change. If we look at it that way, it could be no better time than now for us to build, inspire, create something fresh and something that could help the world.
It's true. I think it's very powerful. What we can do during this time to help people. But I think it's very important to remember that people, non-musicians, they are under a lot of stress right now, in the whole world. And I did an episode about that in my Muzz Music channel when I was asking artists from all over the world to tell what they think about releasing music. And I think the conclusion that I found is that it's very important for us to keep creating and continue that, but to also remember that we need to understand that the world is in a very hard and tough place right now. We can't just push our music on people and be oh, listen to my music, because we need to find a way, to help people with our music and think more about how we can help people and not about how can we just promote our music there, I
really love where you're coming from. Working with a lot of artists and creators, when I hear Vika, I think of leadership. So thank you for doing what you do all the time. Tell us about your new thing with vlogs, because that's a recent thing, right?
Yeah, well, the reason I started vlogging is because I felt like I need a place to express myself a bit more than I can do it on Instagram, because Instagram is a lot about, short videos and about photos and captions and small slogans and kind of, and I felt like I have a little bit more to say, and I wanted my audience to get to know me a little better. What am I doing and why am I doing the music that I'm creating and how am I in life, more than just a photo. or a short video, and I wanted to really show where I'm coming from. That's why I started the vlog. It's way more personal than every other platform.
Yeah, I noticed that. Congratulations, Vika.
Thank you so much.
Congratulations on your new single. Can you tell us a little bit about it, when it came out, the title of it, and maybe some backstory on it?
Yeah, thank you. My new single is Stigma. It's called Stigma. And I wrote this song when I actually decided to become more than a singer. I decided to be a rapper. I'm not coming from the hip-hop culture. I'm not coming from this world. And when I was starting this whole thing, when I was deciding that I want to become a musician and then a rapper, and a lyricist, I heard a lot of negative things, to my way about like, oh, but you don't know anything about it, and you can't do that, and a lot of negative thoughts towards me. And I decided to write Stigma because I realized that I don't think someone can tell you what you can or can't do, and you're the only one to decide that for yourself. And I'm just coming from a very different world, and I want to prove that we all can do everything. If you believe in yourself, you can do it. And that's basically what the song is about. It's talking about me, but it's really there to inspire everyone to do what they feel like doing.
Wow, yes. I feel your empowerment. So thank you for following your heart. More importantly, being authentic and being true, and giving people a platform for them to be inspired.
Yeah, there is a music video available on YouTube, also at Simply Vika. You can also find it on my Instagram because it's out there. I put some photos and links, and I'm always I keep promoting that, because I really want to spread my message out there. It's also available on Spotify, Apple Music, Deezer, SoundCloud. I think all the platforms out there.
Okay, so for our audience, Vika's new single, you got to check it out. It's called Stigma. It's available on all digital platforms everywhere. And there's a music video. Vika, can you give some shout outs to the musicians and your team that helped you put this all together?
Yes, I worked on this song he's my producer, but he's also my best friend. He's going by the name of Blacklight, but he's also doing a separate music by Lightnix. So we've been working together on producing my EP, and he's been the producer for the whole 5 songs. And I have a song coming out at the end of April that he's also produced. This specific song, he produced, he did the beat. I wrote the lyrics and I performed the song, but all around that, he did the job.
Everything, pretty much. Keep him around.
He is my best friend for 16 years. So, yeah.
I wish I had a friend like that could do all of that stuff for me. I listened to it a few times, and the beat, the drops, the transitions, the stuff that he did with your vocals.
Thank you so much.
Amazing.
Yeah, it's very electronic, so you can hear the influences from the world that he's coming from the dubstep world. You can see the influence. Fundamental reasons why I shoot and drive. Being scared I'll be disliked, hiding in a faceless dark. Listen for
Vika, take us back to little Vika, when you first fell in love with music and art. What was going on in your world?
Oh, wow. I grew up in a musical family because my grandma, she was a director of a music school. And my mom, she was a guitar player, and she used to perform. She used to go around Russia and perform with her friend. They used to sing and, play. Like my lullabies were played by my mom with a guitar. And then when we moved, I was 7 years old, we moved from Russia to Israel. My mom signed me up to a dancing class. And I was dancing for a year until I realized that's not my passion. And I wasn't enjoying that as much. So she decided to change directions and signed me up for the city choir. And that's where I found my place, because I was in the city choir for, I think, 8 years. And I was doing solo songs and I was doing the vocal practice. So I kind of really, went inside the music world, and I fell in love with that. And I really wanted to be a singer. And then somewhere through the years, I think I was surrounded by a lot of people, not my mom, but a lot of people that told me that being a singer, it's not a real career and I need to get real. Which I also mentioned that in Stigma, that people told me, you can't be a singer, that's not a career. And I kind of fell into that as a teenager, you listen to the people around you and you kind of it took time until I realized after the army, when I finished the army, and I was like, okay, what do I want to do? There's nothing that I'm passionate about except music. That's the only thing that I'm actually passionate about. And I decided that this is my career and I'm going to stop listening to all the people around me and I'm going to go for it, full time.
Wow. So that's the Stigma.
Yes, that's the Stigma.
We got it on tape. You heard it here, guys. First, VisionQuest Sound. I guess we can say you were classically trained. So something happened along the way that you got into the music that you're into now. Talk about some of your heroes. Who are your musical heroes and your influences?
Well, the first one would be Eminem. He's like my biggest one because I like his honesty. He's very honest about everything. He's such a great writer and I learned his lyrics. I like the way that he did the path, I love what he does.
Who is your music for?
This is really great that you're asking me because actually I was kind of lost in this whole world of, social media and marketing. And I lost my, my goal. And yesterday I finally got back to where I needed to be, and I create music to empower women especially. I fight for equal rights. I fight for women empowerment. My music is for, I think, girls my age, around my age, and kind of like starting from, I think, 16 and higher. Girls that feel that they have potential to be much more than they're being told, Because now in our world, we develop a bit different. And these people often get shut down because they're different, because they're weird, because it's not acceptable, And I'm there for these people, for these girls especially, to tell them that, like I said, you can break this stigma, you can do whatever you want, and you just need to believe in yourself. I'm fighting for the women that need support, that are going through abuse and issues and problems. I want to help. I want to change that.
Big virtual high five. Thank you for being there for the women of the world. I'm reviewing your social media accounts, and you got a couple channels. What are you focusing on now?
My vision for Muzz and music is to inspire young artists. Because when I was starting Muzz and music, I felt kind of lonely. And I felt alone in my own world because I felt like I'm the only one struggling and the only one having those issues of insecurities and, like writer's block and don't knowing what to do on social media, all these issues that we're going through as beginning artists. And not even as beginning, like I think even, artists in like higher stages kind of get those issues sometimes. When I was having those, I tried to find a place for me to not feel alone. To find a channel or to find a blog or to find something and someone who will tell me you're not the only one. It's like, it's completely normal, it's completely fine. And I couldn't find a place that was that for me. So I decided to create one. Because if I'm feeling that, I guess so many more people feel that. And on YouTube, we have a lot of tutorials and a lot of interviews and a lot of stuff like that. But a lot of people avoiding talking about the issues and the problems. And I'm trying to be as honest as possible about that, to not to hide the fact that it is hard on me and on the people that come into my studio to interview,
Vika, how long have you been doing the Muzz and Muzz channel?
A year. And exactly a year now.
Wow. Here's another congratulations to Vika. I'm looking at your YouTube right now, and there's a lot of videos. It just keeps scrolling. It never ends.
Yeah, I'm trying. I'm doing it by seasons. So I'm now on season 4. Mm-hmm. And I feel like I improved a lot since I started, which is amazing because sometimes I go into my first video and I'm watching the first video and I'm watching the last video and I'm like, oh my God, this is such a big change for me.
I've seen you evolve. You've heard this before. Your first video is your worst video. Your last video is kind of like your latest take on what you're doing now. So let's fast forward here to your latest video. I love this title. Should I release music during the coronavirus pandemic?
You know why I did this video? Because I wanted the answer for myself. I was so confused. Right before this whole thing started, I had a schedule, a releasing schedule of my new EP that's finally ready, I was so stressed with all the pandemic and the news and what's happening in the world. And I was like, if I less concentrated on my music, so how can I, I wasn't sure if it's a good idea to actually do that now, because when you write a song, it's your baby, you want it to get the attention that it deserves when you're working so hard on it. I wanted an answer. I wanted to hear what people saying, because a lot of musicians that I were asking, they were like, damn, I don't have an answer. Let me think about that. And then I got the answers and the videos.
Oh my goodness. This is fantastic. Can we promote this in the link when this podcast comes out?
Of course.
How many guests are in this video, Vika?
I think 8. I try to collect from the whole world, so I have Brazil, I have Italy, I have Guatemala, so I really try to show people that I'm not only taking opinions from the US, because the situation in the US is different from what it's in Italy or in Israel or in Brazil.
I love the fact that you included the whole world. And thank God we've got the fighter, the alternative artist, Vika, standing up for the artist community. And audience, again, if you're listening on the playback, it's a great video. You've got to check it out. It's called Should I Release Music During the Coronavirus Pandemic? Vika talks to different artists all around the world and gets their opinions. So check it out, guys. Vika, I'm just scrolling through this Muzz and Muse channel, and I know this is not the only thing that you do, but I'm just so amazed by all of the artists and guests. Can you just give me a rough count on how many guests you've had within the year?
Oh, wow.
Is it 10? Is it 20?
I don't know. I still have 2 videos that are about to come out. No, 3. I have 3 videos that I didn't release yet, but I definitely have no idea how many people I had here. I don't know.
Well, that's great news. When you lose count and you're like, I don't know, I lost count. Congratulations.
Yeah. Thank you.
I'm just going to read for our audience just so that they can get a taste. Even if they don't go there, they would at least know what you're about. So let's see. I'm just going through some of your videos. How to pass your message through music, women empowerment. I never played the piano before. What happens after 2 hours? That looks pretty cool. How to make money as a musician. Musicians during coronavirus. What to do. I'll scroll down further. Get the best out of your single release. Eminem, Ariana Grande, or Avicii. Guess the artist trip. Oh, I love the games.
Thank you.
What is a music composer and what do they do? Networking. So congratulations on this. You've accomplished so much in so little time.
Thank you.
Not just this YouTube channel, but talk to me about how you stay organized. Like, what's your secret? Is it coffee? Is it Red Bull? Is it meditation?
Oh, tons of coffee. I think we talked about it in our first collaboration. You remember I came to your studio and we agreed that coffee is something that I live on. I'm trying to motivate myself to just reminding myself what's my goal and where I need to be and how I'm going towards that goal, and how every day is going to help me with like another step forward towards my goal and where I want to be. Because, I want to change a lot and I want to help people. And in order to help people, I need to be the voice. So I need people to hear me out. So everything I do, that's what I have in my head. It's like helping people. How do I get to people? It's keeping me motivated. And I think a lot of times we don't pay attention to how much we actually evolve, Every day is a little bit and a little bit and a little bit. And then when you look back, a year back, and you realize how much you actually learned and how much you evolved in this time, it's insane. So if you guys artists are listening right now, take a moment and look at yourself a year ago and see how much you actually learned. This is incredible. It gives me so much motivation to know that, because sometimes we forget.
Yes, so powerful, so true. South by got canceled, ASCAP got canceled, Coachella got canceled, but we still got Vika and her channel. Thank God for that. Because you offer so much value to the artist community, to musicians, to the world for that matter. I mean, you've got a lot of content. You inspired me. Thank you for that, Vika.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Vika, somewhere in this world, there's a younger version of Vika. Could be Russia, could be LA, could be anywhere. What advice can you give to her?
I think the first thing that I would say is to find that one person that will support you through this time, because it's not going to be easy. It's a hard path to go. It's so important that you have just this one person, that's going to remind you you're doing it for a good reason, It's hard, but you're going to get through that, Because I have my mom to remind me every day how much she believes in me.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much, Vika, for being on our show today.
Thank you so much for having me. Okay, guys, so you can follow me on Simply Vika. You can do that on Instagram, you can do it on YouTube, on basically every platform. And if you're having trouble, you can Google it, because it's gonna be there. And you can follow me on VisionQuest blog because I'm doing articles there and I'm very active on the blog. So you can follow Philip, and then from there you can find me as well by simply Vika.